I am sitting in front of three firsts, right? First black head coaches for your respective programs. Is there pressure that comes with that? Coach Shrews, I'll start with you on that one.
I don't know if there's pressure that comes with it, because we all probably have our own expectations that we put on ourselves. But I think the pressure part for me probably comes from, I want to do everything right? Because there are people that came before me, right? Not here, but people have come before me that's allowed me to be in this position. Now I need to do everything the right way and do it in a great way so that there are people that get a chance to do this behind me and after me.
It sounds like that's pressure. But good pressure, because pressure can burst pipes or it can make diamonds, right?
Yeah, I think just opening doors, right? Opportunities. I'm in this position because somebody opened the door for me and is giving me an opportunity. Now I want somebody else to have that opportunity in the same way. So there's no pressure to it, right? It is, we got here for a reason. Now just keep doing what we've done to get here. I think that's the most important thing.
I'll get to you in a second on this question. I want you to answer this question if you can. Does it bring any added pressure for you?
Well, I think it's just added significance. It's just, it's a meaningful position, right? And as the head coach at the University of Notre Dame, everything that goes along with it puts pressure. There's a standard. There's a standard here at Notre Dame to uphold with how you do things the right way and with integrity and, like Coach Shrews said, but there's a little bit of added significance, right? People are watching. When I get DMs by little black girls that are playing volleyball, it's kind of cool because I know what they're looking at and I know it means a lot. And to be in a position where someone can say, I want to do that. She looks like me. She's doing that. I see that I can do that. I mean, that's significant. And sure, I guess you can see it as pressure, but I don't know. I just go about my job doing what I do. We got to win. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that.
That's true.
But it's an awesome responsibility, and it's pretty cool to be in the position that we're in.
Has the pressure for you eased up, Coach, because you were the first black female head coach, not just in program history, but in this institution's history? Now seeing your cohorts with you, does that make things a little bit easy?
I mean, I feel like we can relate, obviously. I try to share my experiences with both of them. They know that I support both of them. It's a family, and I'm fortunate for that. So I don't feel like it's pressure, but I just feel like we're a unit, we're family. We understand we're all going through the same level of stress, level of expectation and pressure, but we're doing this together. And I was honored to be the first, and I'm excited that I have more that are surrounding me, and it's obviously great for the university.
Indiana is not necessarily known as the most diverse state in the union. You are from here, you're from Indianapolis. Tell me how being from here played a role in you coming back, but also being a black man coming back to the state of Indiana. That comes with a little bit of weight, but influence, as you said, inspiration for others, correct?
Yeah, it is. And, I grew up here in Indiana, right? I'm from the state, and but the significance of that is, being the first, being from this state, representing this state, being proud of this state. But you also have I have a role model to look up to, right? My father was the first black city councilman in the town that we grew up in, right? So he was breaking barriers long before I was. But he showed me the way of how to do it, of how to really handle yourself in situations that may be difficult. And now it makes it a little bit easier, right? It makes that transition for me a little bit easier. And like Niele said, we're a unit. We're representing the University of Notre Dame. But I'm from this state, and I'm coaching basketball in this state, and I take a lot of pride in that.
I want to read you guys something from the Indy Insider. As of right now, Notre Dame is only two of the major universities, one of two to have a black head coach in all three of its highest profile athletic programs, technically four when you add volleyball. So with that, tell me how that makes you feel as a head coach, but also coming into this institution, what does that say about where this institution is going?
Well, I mean, that was was a big reason I chose to come here. You know, there's a lot to think about when you're looking at different schools and opportunities, and it's really a full package, right? Who's going to support you? Who's got your back? Who's going to really embrace what you're all about and embrace diversity in our sport, and particularly in volleyball. It's not been known as a, predominantly, dominated by minorities. This is it's where you're seeing more minorities in the sport, and as it's growing, and the sport is growing significantly, and you see it every day on TV, and it's one of the most watched sports, and so it's a really big deal. And so when I had these conversations with Notre Dame and knowing Niele was here and meeting Marcus, and it's comforting. It's comforting in many ways, but it's also saying, hey, this school is heading in the right direction. They're trying to get the right people for the job, and it doesn't matter what anybody else says. And that's what I think you saw in Marcus, you see in Niele, of course, Coach Shrews, but this is who we are. We're coaches, and we're here to do something significant at the University of Notre Dame. So. Yeah, it's awesome to be. I'm honored to be among these other coaches. It's a big deal. Yeah.
You mentioned Coach Freeman, who could not be here for obvious reasons, but I want to read you this quote, and Coach Ivey, if you can respond to it. He said, "Quote: I've always said it's at some point it's going to be great when we don't have to make it a big deal that we have 4 coaches of color in major sports, but I don't want to deflect that there are. It's awesome." He goes on to say it's still an ongoing process to get to the point where it's not a big deal. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. We want to make sure that we're at the point where it's the norm, not the exception that we are the only 4 black coaches here on campus. And, I love that Notre Dame is being forward thinking in this, like she said, bringing more diversity in our athletic department. We're hoping that catches on in other universities. And I'm proud to be a part of what we're doing here and how we're growing the diversity here.
When you hear Notre Dame, you don't necessarily think, okay, this is a college that it's not an HBCU, right? We know that. But being a black head coach, particularly for basketball, how has that helped in recruiting some of these players in your first year?
I think we talk about it a lot because of, I really try and sell the players that we're recruiting on family, right? The people, who you're going to be surrounded with on a daily basis. And that, it's not just like we're not in just a silo where you only deal with men's basketball players, right? We're in the same building, so they get a chance to meet Niele and her staff, right? We get a chance to come over here to the Joy Center and get a chance to come to volleyball games and see Salima and her team. Like, those parents look to that and they see, like, wow, there are great role models that my kids are going to be surrounded by. And that's comforting, right? That's comforting for a mom to look across and see these 2 great coaches and what they're doing. And they're saying, wow, like, they're seeing excellence right there on the sideline. And we try and surround that with our staff as well. So we sell it in recruiting. Like, the people is really important, who you're with, who you're going to be surrounded with at Notre Dame as a university, but within this athletic department.
Father Jenkins and of course, Jack Swarbrick are a part of this happening. They both announced that they are on their way out. They are retiring. Talk about the legacy that they're leaving behind. Whoever wants to answer that.
I think the legacy is just profound. I've had the opportunity to actually be a student athlete here. I've been here for a very, very long time to see what Jack has brought here, what Father Jenkins has done for this university, which has impacted the South Bend community, and to see the growth of all aspects of Notre Dame is unbelievable. It's profound what they've done. And Jack, with just collegiate athletics just in general, not even just in the Notre Dame space. And I would say also with Father Jenkins, they're big decision makers within collegiate athletics and have really changed the landscape in a positive and enormous way. And I'm really proud of them and honored, that they were the ones that helped bring me here, also bring these incredible coaches sitting next to me. And they're going to be truly missed, but the legacy that they're leaving is massive.
Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. And I'm newer. I don't have the experience that Niele has, but meeting everyone upon from the very beginning, that's what you could see. the ability to look ahead, look into the future, and see where college athletics is headed. I think that's the legacy that they've left, because we are so far ahead. We're so far ahead of so many universities because of Jack Swarbrick and how he sees college athletics and understands the landscape. So for us, we're in a really good position. We're here. I'm new at this university, but I feel very secure in where we are in the University of Notre Dame athletics, because of what they've done. And I don't know if a lot of places can say that. You know, it's a scary time with changing conferences and realignments, and there's so much going on. NIL, it's big, and to be on the forefront of where it's headed, not just where it's at, I think is incredible. And I think that's where we are.
I think their legacy is really us, right? Like they've put Notre Dame in a really good position, put Notre Dame athletics in a really good position, and I feel like they, hopefully feel like they're leaving this in good hands for whoever is succeeding them. And I know, talking to Jack, like his idea was he wanted to go out and hire the best. And you look at Marcus and the energy that he's bringing to the football program, with Niele and what she's done, throughout her career and doing now, and Salima now just getting started and going and building this thing up. Like, I want to continue to do the same thing that they're doing, but like, we are the legacy that they're leaving, and a big part of the legacy that they're leaving. So they're going to be remembered for a long time for hiring us as coaches.
Director Swarbrick said to our team last month, I think it says a lot about Notre Dame and a lot about our approach to finding the best talent that we wind up with 4 phenomenal coaches who just happen to represent minority groups. Would you all agree with that?
Absolutely.
Talk about, Coach, the challenges of being in an environment, the NBA at one point, and not being represented in terms of women, black women, but then just women in general. How did you use that to help you now as becoming the first black female head coach in the institution's history?
Right. I felt like that time with the Grizzlies just really changed me as a person. It changed me as a coach. Personally, I really stepped out of my comfort zone going to the NBA. Never imagined being in the NBA. So that really shaped me as a coach. I got a chance to learn from a completely different perspective, a completely different level. And when I was there, I realized the magnitude of being the first female African-American assistant coach. And at that time, there were 9 female coaches in the NBA. And so understanding the magnitude of that, Salima touched on it. I got messages, DMs, young girls stopping me on the way to practice. I mean, I had signs at the game. They were stopping me in the game. I realized like how much I was inspiring just a different generation, younger girls, women, just in general. And I was really proud of that. Like that was really powerful for me to be a part of that. And so that helped me take this role here, being the first African-American female coach here at Notre Dame, just because I realized how big that was. And I realized the magnitude of it. And it was important for me to realize like I was making an impact. And you never think that when you're coaching. You're coaching because it's your passion, it's your why. But when you realize you're touching the lives of other people and you're seeing the impact, that made it even more powerful for me. And it was gratifying for me, and so coming here is kind of like, okay, I understand that, even with my team is looking at me and seeing opportunity. If I can do it, I'm empowering someone else to maybe step out on a limb and go after their own dreams. And that was really powerful for me. And so the NBA completely shaped me to be comfortable in this in this seat. For me, I'm following a legend. Obviously, we all followed legends, people that were here for a very long time. So that carries its own weight. But realizing, I'm impacting a lot of people being in this position was really special.
I was going to ask that question eventually about following up from some historic head coaching. I mean, if that's not pressure alone, that's an inspiration, would you all say?
Definitely. I mean, when you you follow, I follow a longtime head coach in Debbie Brown, so she was someone that inspired me. I actually she coached against me when I was a player. We played in a regional Sweet 16 against Notre Dame when she was a coach, and she's someone as a woman that you look up to, right? So you see in our sport is a very male-dominated coaching position. That's just how it was. So for me, I had a lot of people that I looked up to, some women that were in that position, and Debbie was one of them. She wasn't the most recent coach here, but she was the longest tenured coach and had the most success. She really put Notre Dame on the map. And that was a big deal to me. I mean, she's a legend, and it is a lot of pressure, like you said, just following, the other coaches that came here and what they've done at the University of Notre Dame, and where you want to be. I think that's you put your own pressure on yourself too. I want to win. I want to win it all, and that's why they hired me. That's why they hired all of us to win it all. And that's a lot of pressure in and of itself. So,
let's say you, Coach, just again following the footsteps of someone like Mike Brey as well.
Yeah, it's I got a chance to, as long as I've coached in Indiana for so long, and Coach Brey has been here as the head coach for almost as long as I've been coaching. So really following in his footsteps, somebody that has had a lot of success here, somebody that the players beloved. But he was really loved on campus as well. And that, for me, my whole goal is to really build off what he did, but also do it justice, right? I want him to look back and say, man, I'm proud that of this program and what they're doing, right? And that's my goal is for him, for Coach Phelps, all of the former coaches here, all of the former players here, the basketball alumni, that family, to say we're proud of this program and what they're doing and how they're playing and how they're representing it. So every day we want to get better as a team, but we want to make everybody proud of us.
Last question here, because I want to shoot a quick thing with you guys after this. And this is for all of you all. We can go from left to right. Just the weight of this moment, the impact of younger kids, players, potential student athletes coming here just because they're like, I have something in common with her, or I have something in common with him, or he may know where I'm from a little bit better, so I'm going to choose you all over another school. Talk about that inspiration component of what you all do and how you all are trying to inspire a younger generation who's never seen anything like what Notre Dame is doing right now.
Yeah, that part is really, really significant for me. And one of the pillars from the athletic department was excellence. And I got a chance to coach in the NBA for 6 years, and my sons, I have two boys that grew up from 3rd grade through 8th grade. My oldest son got to watch players at the highest level perform on a daily basis. And that kind of shaped their work ethic. That kind of shaped their dreams of what they wanted to do. But coming here, I also have 2 daughters. And they get a chance every single day to see these 2 coaches, right, and what they're doing. They may not be basketball players, they may not be volleyball players, but they're seeing 2 women that are at the highest level in their sport, and they're just seeing excellence, right? I want them to see excellence on a daily basis, but we can inspire a lot more, right? And kids across this country, but kids here in South Bend, that can just look and say, man, I want to go to Notre Dame, right? Just look at those coaches, look what they're doing, look how they're having success, look how much fun their kids are having playing for them. I want to do that. I want to dream to go there also. And if we can do that, if we can inspire those kids, and I've done my job.
I think the same. I mean, we're all in leadership roles, and that's what we're trying to showcase the younger generation of seeing, powerful men in Marcus and Micah, and powerful women in leadership positions and leadership roles as coaches. And that's what we're trying to do on a daily basis. Like you said, my son got a chance to see excellence growing up here. He was inspired by women growing up here. He was inspired by me, even as an assistant coach then. And then when I took that job with the Grizzlies, it was like, it was a whole different level of inspiration that I gave him. I gave him the opportunity to see what he wanted to do in life just a personal level. And if I could do that for my son, you know, I know that it's profound with the younger generation of people in South Bend that are looking at us and people that are looking at us nationally. And that's why we're here. You know, that's our whys, that's our purpose, is to serve, and we get a chance to do it with the sports that we love. And that's a great job to have. It's not a job, it's a great career to have. And we're all sitting here with gratitude because we understand how important it is, and we embrace it every day. And we support each other, like you mentioned earlier. We're family, and you can feel that when you step on our campus. You can feel that when you sit in our offices. You can feel it when you talk to us. And I think that's the most important piece. It's not just about basketball or volleyball or football. It's bigger than that. You know, we're impacting their lives. We're trying to teach them to be prepared for life. That's what we're doing, life lessons, and we get a chance to do it with our respective sports.
I think the biggest impact that you can have on a young person is them to look up at you and say, yes, that's what I want to do. I want to be like you. And I know we're doing that every day. And like they said, I came here for the people and their personalities. I mean, I met with Marcus at the bowl game before I was hired. It's all crazy. I can't even explain it. But he was awesome, right? He sat down just like we're doing right now, as chill as you possibly could be. And I'm like, hey, this is I don't know a lot, but I know this is your first game ever. What are you doing? And he was like, but this is what we do. Yeah. This is what it's about. It's about us connecting. It's about me helping Jack, helping the university, helping young players, having the program, and for us to grow as a university. And I think we're doing that on a daily basis when we can see one another and support each other. It's real. We're not just connected because we're Black. We're connected because we're awesome people that like to enjoy one another, and we're good human beings, and we're all here based on our talent, our ability to connect with young players, and that's significant when you're trying to build a program and trying to hire the right people. And I see that as the greatest inspiration of all. Like, I'm inspired by these guys on a daily basis. You want to talk pressure? I want to be like Niele. I mean, every day I'm like, well,
and I'm the same.
I need to step it up. But it's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. That's fantastic. I love this. Thank you guys for doing this and taking the time. I know you guys are busy. You two got a lot coming up. I know you're in the middle of a season. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.